morning, first grade. It's Tuesday, April the 28th, 2020. This week we are talking about poetry, which is a very specific kind of writing. And you've started reading some poems. You have 3 more poems to read today that are really fun. Remember, poetry are words that share an emotion or an idea. Sometimes they have a specific sound or repeat. And sometimes they have a specific meaning or a rhythm. That's where our rhythm is. So we're going to read some more poems and we're going to write some more poems. But did you guys notice it's kind of dark in here? Do you see that I don't really have the lights on? Well, guess why? Because instead of story time today, we're actually going to do a little video. And we're not going to do it at the end like we normally do. We're actually going to do it in the middle. Can you see who's going to be in my video? I can see that you can see it's Miss Annie. You guys know Annie from Brain Pop Junior. But I wanted to, before we get to that, so when we get to it, I promise I'll tell you, and then we're going to stop and do some math after we get to watch our video. So I wanted to show you, though, some of the things our friends are doing. Can you see what Mr. Harley is doing right there? Harley got a bug catcher, I think in his Easter basket, and guess what he's doing? He's catching bugs. Isn't that so cool? You can kind of see it down there, and he's using the tools to catch the bugs. We learned a lot about insects at the beginning of the year when we studied animals. Harley, that is so cool, and I bet you could find some really good ones. I also wanted to show you what Annabelle did last week. Remember that we learned about coordinate grids, and then just for fun, there was a little game you could play. It's kind of like Battleship, but it was Pirate Ship. Guess what? And guess what? Annabelle won. Good job, Annabelle. And isn't that a fun math game? I love it. Okay, today in reading, you're talking about an acrostic poem. Let me show you. See an acrostic poem? An acrostic poem is a poem that uses the letters of a topic or word to begin each line. Look at this is a poem about what? S-U-N. What does S-U-N spell? Right, so this poem is about the sun. So they use the letters up front. You're going to write one today about spring. If you want to, just for fun, write one about your own name. You could do that too, to write about yourself. But today we're going to write about spring since it is spring right now, and since we studied seasons in first grade. Sun, so it says, sun shines brightly up in the sky, nice and warm on my face. So those are about the sun. Do you see that they're just phrases? They could have used just one word if they wanted to. Like you could have just said shines, but they said sun shines brightly. Either way is okay. One of the things we talked about in first grade was being healthy and ways to stay healthy. Here's a acrostic poem called Healthy. Hot vegetables, eat food from the four food groups: apple, low fat, teeth grow strong, have strong muscles, yummy. But what word does this acrostic poem spell? Healthy. You're right, and those are all ways to stay healthy. I just told you you're going to do a poem today about spring. Here's a sample about winter to help give you ideas. And when you're thinking about spring, think about what it's like outside right now. Do you see baby birds? Like I see baby ducks in my community. There's baby ducks, right? So it could be something that you somehow put that in about baby animals that we sometimes see. Also, what does it feel like outside? What are you doing right now? When you talk about spring and flowers and all kinds of things. This one's winter. You can see it says, Winter Wonderland. Ice is slippery. Nothing is hot. The weather is cold. Everything you touch is cold. Really cold. This student wrote really cold for R. I like that. So what does it spell? Winter. Let me show you one last acrostic poem. Here it is. Cats. Look at this poem is about cats. But see how they did just one word, although they did a phrase right here. But this one on cats, and then they illustrated really cute with it. It says, cuddly, acrobatic, which is like gymnastics. Tenacious, they really are very smart and can think things through, and softly purring. So today you're going to write an acrostic poem like those. Remember that poems are about what we see, what we feel. They help us build connections to what's going on in the world. That's the cool part about poetry and why we really like that kind of writing. It's so much fun. They can send a message, and today you're going to get to send a message about what spring is like. You're also going to read a poem called Feelings today. It's kind of fun. And then you're going to read a silly poem that's called Stomach Ache Supreme. I think you guys are going to crack up at that one. And then children everywhere. One of the things you're going to see is the repeated rhythm of children, children, the repeated phrase children, children again, which we talked about sometimes in poetry. But remember we talked about there's a lot of white space in poetry often. So then here's your rough draft planning page for spring, and then you're going to write it. Okay, are you guys ready for a little video about poems with Annie and Moby? Okay, remember we're going to do this instead of story time today, so go ahead and get comfy, and then hold on as soon as it's done. I'm going to stop it, and then we're going to just talk a minute about math, okay? Here goes. Hopefully you can hear it. Let's see. I need to turn it up. Okay, everybody comfy? I've made it big. Let's see what Annie and Moby are going to teach us about poetry today. They're going to show us some different types, some that we've already talked about, some that we're not going to do in just our short time this week. But it's just so important to know, because then when you see them, you'll go, oh, I've seen that poem before. So let's see what they are up to.
I'm writing a poem. My best friend, orange and silly, beeps and blinks. You know who he is? How do you write an acrostic poem? First, you need a subject, or something to write about. What should we write a poem about, Moby? Good idea. Next, write down a word or idea about your subject. F-A-R-M. Then you use each letter to start a line of your poem. Even though a subject might be big, it's important to focus on one small thing when you write a poem. Feel the drumbeat of hooves. Animals boink, bleat, and cluck. Ringing and singing in my ears. Melody of the barn. Right, my poem focuses on sounds on a farm. Sound, smell, taste, touch, and sight can help you get your message across to the reader. Cute and dear, hold it near. I hear it peep, chirp and cheep. Keep it safe like a secret. That's a great poem, Moby. You used a simile to compare keeping the chick safe with keeping a secret. You also used some rhyming words, but poems don't have to rhyme. What is free verse? Poems written in free verse don't have to follow a pattern. Walk, trot, canter, gallop. The ground stirs and shakes. A flash of lightning across the grass. Who can raise the wind? You can use punctuation as break lines in different ways to create a rhythm. Poems can sound different, but they can look different too. How do you write a shaped poem? One way to create a shaped poem is to write your poem so it fits inside a shape. When you have a little space, you can only write a word or two. But when you have more space, you can write a longer line. Right, you can also create a shape poem by writing along the outline of a shape. I like turning poems into pictures, but poems can have pictures inside them too. What is a rebus poem? A rebus is a picture that stands for a word. Well, an eye can stand for the word I, and a heart stands for love. Rain plus bows is equal to rainbows. So this says, I love rainbows. You can write poems using symbols and words together. The pig in the pen, the dog and the hen sleep while the mice steal their cheese. When I write a rebus poem, I first write everything in words. Then I replace some of the words with symbols. A rebus poem can be as long as you want it to be, but some poems are meant to be short. What is a haiku? A haiku is a short, powerful poem that follows a pattern of syllables. A syllable is a unit of sound in a word. The word farmer has 2 syllables, farm-er. It's helpful to say the word out loud and clap out the syllables. The word animals has 3 syllables, and most. You can also count out the syllables on your fingers. The, hug, slurps, slop. Right, that sentence has 4 syllables. Haikus were first written in Japan hundreds of years ago. A haiku has only 3 lines. The first line has 5 syllables. The second line has 7 syllables. And the last line has 5 syllables. The bucking bronco, dancing in the scorching heat, forgets summer sun. Haikus can focus on one moment in nature, or describe something special about a season. Going to the farm, animals playing in June. Boy, does it smell bad. Moby.
Moby, he's so silly, isn't he? Oops. Moby is so silly, but didn't he describe what happens when he goes to the farm? So today you're going to describe using the acrostic. I'm trying to get into the light. You're going to just describe using the acrostic spring. And what I really want you to think about is go outside. It's spring. What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What do you hear? What do you smell when you smell? But it can also be things that you do in spring. Maybe it's when you get to, in Arizona, maybe it's when you get to start swimming. Those kinds of things. We often think about that in summer, but in Arizona, that could be spring. So you're going to go ahead and start doing that today. Okay, that was so much fun. I want us to look at math just for a minute. So let me turn on my document camera. Since we're going ahead and starting math, here's what I want you to do. While I walk over and turn my document camera on, freeze, and then tell somebody around you the rap for greater and less. Can you remember our rap? Least means, you got it, here it goes. Bump bunch, least means less, and greater means more. There's another word for less that we're going to see today in math, and that is fewer. We've learned that in first grade. We know that fewer means less also, or least. So the fewest. So we're going to see that in math today. So don't get confused when you see that word, because I know that you know what it means. Look, is my smartboard taking a little while to come on? Here it goes. Let's see if I can make it bright enough. Give it just a second to warm up. What do you think? Nope, first grade. I think it needs to be brighter. Let me do it. Hold on just a second. Okay, let me press the lamp. Oh, it worked. There we go. Okay, guess what else I see at the top? What is this? When we have pictures that represent something on a graph, that is called a pictograph, right? Doesn't it sound like it? Okay, well, I want you, of course, to read the story, the paragraph of what you're doing in math, and then you're going to see the title, Starfish and Tide Pools, and then there's our 3 months, January, February, March. Don't forget, pictograph. Where is the key? Pictograph. Found the key. Each starfish is worth 2. So in February, did she find 3 starfish? No, am I trying to trick you? But did you get tricked? Of course you didn't get tricked. Here it is. She found how many starfish? Counting by what? 2, 4, 6. Yes, you're going to answer these questions. You'll see that I said to get a highlighter or a crayon out to help you. You can use your highlighter or crayon to circle the key to remind you. I also highlighted down here, color the bar graph to match the pictograph. So this bar graph, you're going to read the pictograph, and then you're going to color it to match it. Okay, there's one thing I want to show you on the back. Also, let me be fast. I'm going to be fast. Okay. There's our map today. Looks like a little city on our map. Isn't that pretty cute? So, look at, I circled it over here. I don't know if you can see it very well. What is that? Our compass rose. That's going to be super important. Remember, there's tools on maps. There's a compass rose on a map. It's a tool that tells you which way is never eat soggy waffles, never eat soggy waffles, north, east, south, west. Last week we also looked at a scale, which tells you, like, if I look at this much space, that could mean, if there was a scale on this, that could mean a mile. So, because we couldn't make the map that big. So those are things that are tools on there. We also started looking at the symbols on maps last week, which we've done in maps kind of a long time ago. But today you're going to use that compass rose to answer these questions about where things are at on the map. I see the zoo up here. It says food here, so that must be the grocery store. Can you guys see? Oh, it's right in the middle of that little dot from my light. Kind of. Oh, it's right here. Can you kind of see that blue van? Look with eagle eyes today when you're doing math. What direction is the van going? How do I know what direction my car is going? Because the front of the car goes that way, right? We don't drive on streets in reverse, right? So look for that to figure out, to answer these questions, okay? So first grade, I am going to read you one more short little poem today. Let me turn on the light. Hold on so that you can see the pictures. Okay. I'm just going to read you one short poem and then hold on after the poem because I want to show you how my lima beans are doing. Actually, today, though, I'm going to show you some different lima beans. I just threw some in a pot that I happened to have that I needed to plant something in, and I haven't, and the leaves look so cool, so I want you to be able to see. But let me read this poem. We're going to actually read clatter tomorrow when we talk about onomatopoeia. We're going to read this, but right now let's read this poem, okay? Here's what it says. I'm glad I'm me. I don't understand why everyone stares when I take off my clothes and dance down the stairs, or when I stick carrots in both of my ears, then dye my hair green and go shopping at Sears. I just love to dress up and do goofy things. If I were an angel, I'd tie-dye my wings. Why can't folks accept me the way I am? So what if I'm different and don't act like them? I'm not going to change and be someone I'm not. I like who I am, and I'm all that I've got. I love that poem, except I know you guys, because we like our No David book, I knew you guys would crack up that he's running down the stairs. And look at the mom is like, oh no, what's he doing? In his underwear. But it's so funny because didn't God make us all unique? God made us all unique, which I love. And so he's saying, well, I do silly things, and that's kind of how I'm unique. I love it. So we're going to read that more. Okay, first grade, go do your very best today. Just like you would do for me, I want you to do your very best at home. Hold on just a second, and I'm going to end our video today by showing you that cool plant at my house. I hope you're doing awesome. I'll see you soon. Bye. I happen to have an extra pot at my house that, yes, as you can see, just had a little bit of soil in there, kind of waiting for me to plant something in it. Well, just for fun, I threw some lima beans in there to see what would happen. Look at how cool they are when they have all this space to grow. I'm just super happy. I can't wait. We'll watch this one too and see what happens to it. So cool. I hope your lima beans are doing awesome.